Ground your feet to the ground, toes and heels on the ground. Allow your knees to be at a 90-degree angle. Place your hands on your knees. I'm going to take one deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let's exaggerate that breath as we do it the second time. We're going to take a deep breath in and pull as much oxygen into your lungs as possible. Hold and release. This third time that we take this very intentional deep breath, I would like for you to process every single moment that you can think of in your day as you take that breath in. And hold and release. We're going to do that one more time. As you breathe in, process every single moment of your day, the trials and tribulations to the successes and accomplishments. Hold and release. One more time, and this time, as we take that deep breath in, I would like for you to include any moments of gratitude that you have for today. So think about it before we start. Today, I'm quite grateful for the network of people that I have in my life that has allowed me to participate and present to you guys today. And I'm going to take that in with my gratitude for the day and the experiences of my day. I'm going to take a deep breath in. And I'm going to release. Next, I'm going to try to quiet my mind a bit. Wherever I'm sitting, I'm not going to move, but I'm going to find a point in front of me. It doesn't matter if it's a wall, it's a bookshelf. Hopefully it's not a television, especially if it's on. But I'm going to ground myself in this moment by finding what's called the drishti, just a point in a room to focus on while I focus on my breath. And very intentionally, I'm going to breathe in and out. And once again, breathe in and out. I'm going to do a double breath in. It's going to be a long breath and then a quick one. And out. So it should be in, and out. Let that out breath be very smooth. And out. I'm going to have my hand follow that breath pattern. And out. One more time. Breathe in. And out. Would anybody like to share their current feeling or their current experience? Don't feel like you have to. Okay, well, I'll share my experience. So today there were a lot of things that happened in my day. So as I was breathing, I was processing. I was saying to myself, I hope I did all the things I have to do. I hope I checked all those boxes. Even as I'm instructing, I'm still thinking about all the logistics of my day, right? And I'm gonna try my best to allow myself to let those feelings go. I'm also very aware that someone's vacuuming outside of this room and I can hear them, so I'm thinking about them. The goal is not to have a perfect experience, but just have the experience you're having. There's a concept called mindfulness. And as I'm speaking, feel free to stay calm and breathe and think about whatever thoughts you have. There's 7 principles of mindfulness. One of those first principles is non-judging. I try my best not to judge myself in this moment. I try my best not to judge others. I try my best not to judge situations. I'm trying my best to live judgment-free. The second principle of mindfulness is non-striving. Not that I don't want things to be good or I don't want things to go well, but that I'm going to do my best and I'm going to allow the results of the day, whatever that means, to be. I can only control myself. I cannot control the outcome. Non-striving is accepting the fact that you can only control what you can control, and you cannot control the outcome. So do the best that you can in whatever scenario or situation, and allow the chips to fall where they may. And if they don't fall in a pattern that you want, so be it. You've learned something, or you can grow from this experience. The third principle of mindfulness is acceptance. Acceptance is such a blanket term. Acceptance of yourself, acceptance of others, acceptance of your situation, acceptance of life. We're not always in control of the hand that we're dealt, but you're still going to play the game. Accepting everything as it is, regardless of the circumstance, it sets you up to find happiness in your own control. The fourth principle of mindfulness is trust. Trusting in a process, trusting yourself. Sometimes the hardest trust is trusting others, but just trusting that things are going to be okay. Once again, not striving, not judging, accepting, trust. The fifth principle of mindfulness that I'd like to bring to you letting go. Very similar to non-striving, letting go of the outcome, letting go of the past, letting go of the present, letting go of things you can't control, letting go of trauma, which is not easy, I don't want to make it seem as if any of these things are easy, because they are not. Letting go of joy. Sometimes, imagine a team wins a championship, and the next season they're so high off the win of the championship, they don't even practice. Sometimes you have to let go of even your accomplishments to allow yourself the opportunity to be successful in the future. Non-judging, non-striving, trust, acceptance, letting go. And the next one I'm going to bring to you is patience. Very similar to the others. Patience with the process. Patience with yourself. Patience in the hardest of times. Sometimes when we're waiting, We might be in traffic. We might be late. We may be early, but anxiety will build in these experiences. And what mindfulness has taught me is if you live in the past, you will be depressed. And if you live in the future, you will be anxious. The goal, if there's any goal at all, is to be present in this moment. So non-judging, non-striving, trust, acceptance, patience, letting go. And my favorite is called beginner's mind, or you can call it childlike curiosity. Think about when you're a child, when you're 5. You see the world through a lens of endless possibilities. Some of my favorite times are speaking to first graders or kindergarten students. And you might ask them what they want to be. And one student may say, I want to be a trash man, because they think it's cool to ride on the back of a truck. And somebody else might say, I want to be an astronaut, because they like the stars. And somebody else might say, I want to be a doctor. Regardless of their response, they're experiencing and putting forward childlike curiosity. Whatever piques their interest at the time. They're not thinking about how many years of school it's going to take to get there. They're not thinking about the grades necessary to get there. They're not even thinking about the salary that they may get once they get there. They're only thinking about endless possibilities and where they would like to be. Bringing yourself back to being curious like a child offers so much possibility. And it starts with a simple sentence, with a simple phrase. What if? Oftentimes, as we get older, we don't ask ourselves, what if? What if I was a race car driver? What if I was a yoga instructor? I'm going to share something with you. The way mindfulness has worked in my life is I was in school and I knew I wanted to work in education. I knew I wanted to work with young people. And I decided after school that I was going to work for a nonprofit organization. And through working through that organization, I ended up finding a lot of challenges. Some of the staff were having challenges. I was having challenges. Some of the students were having challenges. And someone asked the question, what if yoga and mindfulness can help some of these challenges? As a result, I said, what if I became a yoga instructor? After a year of being a yoga instructor and getting my credential, I said, what if I go back to school? And I did that. And then I said, what if I start a business? And I was able to do that. And through that pattern of what if, I was able to raise tens of thousands of dollars through pitch competitions. From that point, I said, what if I could work in a corporate setting and bring what I've learned into a better space? Which is why now I became, as I mentioned, I'm in my office, operations manager at a software company. If anyone asked me before if I'd ever worked for a software company, I probably would have said no. But that one question, what if, allows for endless possibilities. So let's try an exercise. Let's ask ourselves, with childlike curiosity, not judging ourselves based on previous notions, preconceived situations, any circumstance at all. What if we use mindfulness and ask ourselves, what if? Remember the 7 principles of mindfulness. Non-judging, so don't judge yourself. Non-striving. There's no winner or loser here. Just do what you can. Trust, trusting in the process. Acceptance, you can't do anything about the past. Let's just accept where we are. Patience. Even right now, I've been speaking for a while. It requires a level of patience to just listen and be present, letting go of the past, letting go of any idea. More than that, letting go of any negative comments from anyone previously. And I'm gonna tell you why that's important. Did you know it takes 10 times to hear something positive to remove the damage of one person saying something negative that you believe? So anything that you've heard previously that makes you believe that you cannot, let it go. And childlike curiosity, asking yourself, what if? We're going to take a moment and we're going to process. What if, and allow your imagination to roll. Your wildest dreams. When you were 5 and someone said, what do you want to be when you grow up? As simple of a question as that is, allow yourself to be in that mentality. What if? We're going to take a deep breath in and breathe out. What if? We're going to take a deep breath in and breathe out. What if? We're going to take a deep breath in and breathe out. One last time. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. So with a sea of endless possibilities, I would love to hear anyone, maybe, to volunteer and mention what their what if was. Maybe it's what if I went back to school? Maybe it's what if I got that job? Maybe it's what if I got an apartment and I figured out how to live on my own? Whatever that is, if you feel free to share it, this is the moment to share.
I have one, Brian.
Okay.
What if I followed my doctor's recommendation and did exercise and dieting?
That's a good what if. You know why I like what if? It takes the pressure off of it.
Yeah.
It's not saying I have to. It's not saying I need to. It's not saying I should have or could have or would have. It's saying, what if? It's just a thought. I really appreciate you sharing that. Does anyone else want to share? If not, it's okay.
Hey, it's Anne. I'll share.
Okay.
Mine is what if I combine my love for yoga with art and reading somehow.
What if?
What if? So thank you for asking the question.
I can envision it. I imagined a whole a whole slew of, well, my own perception of that might be different than yours. So I just imagined the mixture of art and yoga, which I think is quite beautiful. I appreciate you sharing. Okay, so as we move forward to the second half of what we're doing, we're going to be doing a bit of yoga. We're not going to do anything extreme. We want to make sure that we're very kind to our bodies more than anything. We want to make sure that we are being thoughtful about where we are, where objects might be in proximity to our bodies, that we're not hurting ourselves or other people. You can easily lose balance and, knock something over. So let's try our best to find a space that feels comfortable enough to move around and be active, that allows us to practice safely. And more than anything, as I said, we're going to be kind to our body. So do not, I repeat, do not do anything that you feel uncomfortable with. Don't feel the need to push yourself past your personal limit. But if you do have a similar personality to myself and you like to push yourself and see where you can be, do it as safely as possible, listening to our bodies, and more than anything, going into each pose with the thought and the mindfulness that we want to be kind to our bodies. So I'm going to give everyone a moment to get adjusted as we find our space. I'm going to do the same. I'm just finding enough space that I can move around. I'm warming my body up, moving my shoulders, moving my hips, shaking out all of my day and any laziness that I have. There's a phrase in yoga called being tamasic. It's similar to being lazy. I'd say don't be tamasic in the pose, but also give yourself the advantage of giving it a shot. Ask yourself, what if I gave it a shot? What's the worst that could happen? Keep your cameras off if you'd like. I'm going to start shoulder width apart, my feet shoulder width apart. I'm going to bring my hands above my head quite slowly and bring my biceps to where my ears are. Slowly reaching up the ceiling, trying my best to touch the sky, trying my best to touch the ceiling. Breathing as I stretch forward, as I stretch upward. I'd like to note also, I'm going to turn around. Right here is my trapezoid. It goes from the center of my back to the top of my spine and my shoulder blades. It's like the shape of a kite or a diamond. I want to engage my trapezoid, so I'm rolling my shoulders back and then going up. Breathing. Getting as tall as I can get. From this point, I'm going to slowly forward bend, not arching my back over, really trying to keep my back straight, keeping my knees straight, my hamstrings and quadriceps engaged, which just means that I'm flexing those muscles. That's the muscles of the backs of my leg and the front of my leg. I'm keeping my toes and heels on the ground. I'm allowing my body to just open up slowly. I'm not reaching for my toes yet. I'm still keeping my chest lower than my stomach. And I'm keeping my back straight. Let me go to the side and show what that looks like. So this would be arching my back. I'm keeping my back straight and I'm just slowly moving forward. No pressure. I'm not judging myself. I'm not striving for anything too big. I'm just slowly moving forward and allowing the weight of my upper body to open up my body. I'm definitely feeling the engagement in my calf muscles, my hamstrings, my lower back. I even feel some engagement in my lats. That's right here, covering my ribs. And I'm slowly allowing my body to open up. And slowly I'm coming halfway back up. My hands are in front of me. I'm coming halfway up. Hands on my quads. And then I'm going back down, allowing my body to open up a little more than I previously did. But once again, I'm not pushing. I'm allowing my body to naturally open up. I'm not forcing anything. And I'm gonna slowly come up. I'm gonna take my right leg and I'm going to step in front. I'm gonna bend from that right knee into a lunging position, and I'm gonna bring my hand straight above my head. And I'm gonna hold. Trust me when I tell you, I'm very aware that the yoga poses that I do are quite slow. And I do that intentionally because I don't want us to do violent, quick movements. This is not vinyasa yoga, this hatha yoga. So I'm more focused on form and my breathing and my execution than I am doing a bunch of quick movements. From here, I'm going to bring my back leg. I'm going to point my toe towards this wall, and I'm going to split my hands. I'm going to go into a warrior position. Once again, this is yoga for warriors. A warrior's mind must be steady, must be strong, must be disciplined. I'm breathing into the position. I'm keeping my arms as straight as I can. My knee is bent. My foot is in front of my knee. My toe is facing the wall. And I'm slowly going to bring my right elbow to my knee. And I'm going to bring my hand in front of my face and behind my ear. Breathing into the pose. I'm not dumping my body, which means I'm not just like slouching over. I'm allowing my body to stay strong. I'm engaging my core. I'm engaging my quad. I'm engaging my calf. And if anyone asks, I'll tell you firsthand, this is not easy, which is why it is yoga for warriors. You are a warrior. You're gonna bring your arm back. You're gonna go back into this first warrior position. You're going to get out of that lunge. You're going to bring the other foot forward so both feet are facing forward. You're going to slowly shift to the same side you were just on. And then you're going to bring your hand down to a triangle, trying to keep your body straight and your hip forward, keeping your arms at a very straight line. Breathing, breathing. You're gonna bring your hand up. We're gonna do the same on the opposite side. We're gonna do everything opposite now. So we're gonna start with the last pose we did. We're gonna go all through what we just did. You're gonna shift over. Bring your arms to a straight line. Breathing through the pose. Once again, this is triangle. Breathing through. I'm gonna be here for another couple seconds. Once again, let me remind you of the 7 principles of mindfulness. I'm not judging myself. I'm not striving. I'm being patient with myself. I'm accepting. I'm letting go. And I'm being curious. I'm going to point my toe to this wall here. My left foot pointed to this wall. Slowly go over. Lunge the knee. Knee to elbow. And bring the arm in front of the face. Warrior 2. Try to keep a straight line from that fingertip to that toe. Breathing. Taking my time. Allowing myself to open up naturally. Opening up all of my side. Trying to get big breaths of air into my lungs. Keeping that toe pointed. I'm going into the lunge. Keeping my hands facing up and my arms at a straight line. Breathing. Deep breaths. We started out with breathing. We'll be breathing through this entire thing. And let me give you a hint. You'll be breathing for the rest of your life. So you better get good at breathing. That was a yoga joke. In my lunge, I'm slowly coming out. I'm bringing both feet facing the same direction. And I'm going to bring my hands up. This is where we started on the opposite side. Those arms above the head, shoulders back, keeping my core tight. Breathing. Remembering to breathe. Once again, non-judging. Don't judge yourself, non-striving. Don't push too hard, just do what you can. Acceptance, patience, letting go. Being curious, giving it a shot. What if? I'm gonna bring my hands down. I'm gonna bring my feet back together. I'm gonna slowly bring my hands up and above my head. Once again, engaging my trapezoids. I'm gonna stretch my shoulders a bit. I personally, and I know a lot of people do, hold a lot of stress in my shoulders. I'm gonna bring my right shoulder back. And I'm going to, my left arm back. And I'm going to grab my left elbow and I'm going to slowly stretch it back behind me. breathing through, staying engaged, keeping my core tight, not being tamasic, which, as I mentioned, is, I don't want to say the word lazy, but it's not engaging. It's like doing it at a minimal. If we're going to give it an effort, let's give it the effort. Still not striving, not looking for perfection, but once again, just like every day, we're putting our effort out there and seeing what happens, letting the chips fall where they may. I'm letting my shoulders go. I'm gonna move them around a bit, and I'm gonna take my opposite arm. I'm gonna let it drop behind my back. I'm gonna grab my elbow, and I'm gonna allow the weight of my other hand to kind of just guide it downward towards my back. The part of your spine that's attached to your rib cage is your thoracic spine. I'm slowly just allowing my hand to guide down to my thoracic spine. And I'm letting go. My shoulders are much more loose. I'm gonna grab both of my hands behind my back, and I'm gonna slowly engage them downward and backward, and I'm going to open up my throat. I'm going to bring it down and back. Still engaging my trapezoids and my shoulders, the deltoids in my hand and my arms, bringing them back and down, stretching my lower lumbar. That's the lower part of my back. Bringing my chin upward. Another way to open up your throat, open up this area, is to take your hands, not choke yourself, but stretch the skin that is in front of your neck, along your collarbone. You're gonna stretch it downward. Slowly open up. Open the mouth. See how that feels. See how you're feeling. And to seal every practice, we're not gonna do too much today. And I also wanna talk through what we did. But to seal every practice, I'd like to do a bit of a meditation. Now, under normal circumstances, I would have you lay down on the floor, which I can do also. It's called Shavasana. That's the Sanskrit name. It's also called dead man pose. Don't be concerned by the name. Think about dead man pose, or think about Shavasana. If you, God forbid, you had no chance to do anything else, would you feel complete? You can't go back and apologize to that person. You can't go back and do something different. There is no tomorrow in this sense. But if, God forbid, today was it, how would you feel? And while you're in Shavasana, allow yourself to experience that feeling at least briefly. Because once you arise, you have the opportunity to go forward and do whatever it is that you wish that you could do. It's like you have a second chance. So let's take a moment. I'm gonna go as far back as possible so you can see me. I'm gonna go down. And I'm just gonna lay down on the ground with my eyes closed and take a second, and process. I think about where I am. I think about what building I'm in, the room inside of the building that I'm in. I'm thinking about the floor that I'm on that holds the room of the building that I'm in. I think about the breaths that I'm taking. Feel free to continue to lie down as you listen to my guided meditation. I think about the building in proximity of the city that I'm in, which is Baltimore. What area are you in? Maybe you're in Fells Point. Maybe you're in Northeast. Maybe you're in West Baltimore, wherever that is. I think about the street that I'm on. I think about Baltimore and where it's located within Maryland. Think about where Maryland is located within the DMV area. I think about where the DMV area is in proximity to the East Coast. I think about the East Coast in comparison to all of North America, including Canada. I think about the continent we're on. We're in North America. We could be in any continent right now. But the one that we were born in, the one that we happen to live in, is North America. I think about the world that we're on. Earth. I think about that we're the third planet from the sun. I'm thinking about where we are within the Milky Way galaxy or our solar system, where the solar system is within the Milky Way galaxy. I think about all the galaxies that could possibly be out there, the infinite possibilities. Our sun is so big, I think thousands and thousands of Earths can fit inside the sun. And there are stars so big that thousands of suns can fit within their star that holds their galaxy together, holds their solar system together. We are so small and we are so small in comparison to what's out there, but we're so important. And each day we have a choice to make choices in our life to affect the people around us in positive and negative ways. And it's up to you to make those choices. How this all relates to yoga, I think it's quite important that we take a time to process. Yoga translates literally to life. What you typically do in a yoga practice is how you approach life. Oftentimes, I like to say yoga is a peek through the window or a look in the reflection of your life. If you ever want to get a sense of who you are and how you are, participate in yoga. If you hold your arms out and you let them go, once again, we're not judging ourselves or each other. But if you do that, oftentimes when things get tough, you might drop your arms metaphorically. If you're in a pose and you're trying your hardest and you push yourself past your limit, oftentimes the personality that will push you past the limit is the same personality that in your job or in your life, you're going to push way too hard. And you might need to take a bit of a break and take a moment and process how you're feeling. If you're doing this and you get frustrated, that also signals information to you. So the goal of yoga, more than anything, if I can share anything with you, is it allows you to reflect. It allows you to see yourself in a way that you can't just see in a traditional mirror. It allows you to get an experience. And with that experience, you gain information. And with that information, you can do something with that information. Before we finish, I'm going to share one more time the 7 principles of mindfulness. Non-striving, non-judging, trust, acceptance, patience, letting go, and childlike curiosity. I'd like to seal our practice today with a traditional greeting or closing of yoga, and it's also just a general greeting in certain parts of the world, which is namaste. Namaste means the light in me recognizes the light in you. I like to say real recognize real. It's the same concept. The God in me recognizes the God in you. The human being in me recognizes the human being in you. And more than anything, it shows a level of empathy. I may not understand what you're going through if you're going through something, but I've gone through something. So I'm here with you. I can see you. I can recognize you. And I hope you know that I mean that honestly. I thank you so much for practicing with me today. I would like to thank the Baltimore Urban League for allowing for me to share what I know, if I know anything, about yoga and mindfulness. I'd like to thank everyone who participated and contributed to the conversation. And I'd like to leave you with one last thing before I go. And I said it earlier, if you live in the past, oftentimes you'll be depressed. If you live in the future, oftentimes you'll be anxious. The goal, if there's ever a goal, if there's any time a goal, is to be present in this moment. And if you find presence in the moment, enjoy that moment. Take time and smell those flowers, kiss a baby, walk a puppy, look at a sunrise or a sunset. Take each moment and just appreciate it. Once again, namaste. Thank you so much for participating and practicing with me. It's been such a pleasure. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And until next time, my name is Brian Furr, also known as Furr the Yogi. You can follow me on Instagram at Furr_the_yogi. Have a wonderful day, and thank you so much.